Okay, for this video we're going to be looking at what a function is. So the first thing you'd want to ask yourself is, what is a function? Well, a function is a special case of a relation. Which begs the question, what is a relation? Okay, so a relation is any pairing between two sets. One of those sets being a domain, and it's usually represented by the letter X, and the second set being the range, Y. Okay, so let's look at an example, first of all, of three relations. Now, a function is a special type of relation, so these will all be relations, but not all of them will be functions, and we'll see how to tell soon. Here's an example of a relation. It's a pairing between this set and that set. The first set is the domain, so I'm going to call it X, but that's going to be our domain. And our range is going to be Y. Okay, that's a relation. That's not the only way it could have been presented. It could have been presented where my pairing is like this. Okay, so this is the exact same relation as that one is. They're exactly the same. What is the domain? If you're just given this, the domain is going to be the set of first entries. Now remember, set notation does not have repetition. So I have A, then B, and then C. So none of those were repeated. If they were, I would not write them down more than once. And what is the range? Well, the range is going to be what's in the second entry. Okay, another way we could have had this relation presented to us is in a table. So the domain, which is going to be my X values, so typically X means domain and Y means range. My X values are going to be A, B, and C. And so A in my domain is paired up with the number 1 in the range. B in my domain is paired up with the number 2. C is paired up with the number 3. Okay. And if you're asked what's your domain, my domain is going to be these entries in the top row, and my range is going to be these entries in the bottom row. Okay. Here's another example of a relation. So this can be, what did these students get in the course? Well, suppose Joe got an A in the course, Jay got a C, and Jill got an A. So I do have a pairing between my domain and my range. Okay. So my domain is the set of Joe, Jay, and Jill. My range is A and C. This could have been presented to me the following way. Joe is paired with A. Jay is paired with C. And Jill is paired with A. Now, if you were just given this and you're asked what is the domain, it's going to be the set of first entries. And set notation does not allow for any repetitions. Okay. What is the range? It's the set of second entries. So I'm going to have A, C, but then I am not going to write A down a second time. That would be wrong. Set notation does not have repetitions. Okay. And finally, I could have it the same relation set up in a table. And the same thing, I can see Joe is paired with A, Jay got a C, Jill got an A. The domain is going to be Joe, Jay, and Jill. And what's the range? Well, it's A and C, and that's it. We don't list repetitions. So if you wrote range is A, C, A, that's wrong. That's not how you write set notation. No repetitions. Okay, so if I have something like this, that's not correct for set notation. you'd want to write it like that. That's correct. That's not correct. Okay, now, last example of a relation. Here's my domain, and here's my range. So a mammal is mapped with cow, but a mammal is also a dog. A reptile is mapped with snake. So that's one way I could have it presented. Another way is mammal is paired with cow, but then mammal is also paired with dog. And I can't get this all in one line. Then we have reptile is paired with snake. That would be another way I could have presented that relation. Now, what is the domain? It's the set of first entries, but in set notation we do not have repetition, so I do not write mammal twice. And what's the range? The range is a set of second entries. Cow, dog, and snake. And finally, I could have had this arranged the following way. So I could have had it presented to me in a table. And I can see that mammal is mapped, paired with cow. Mammal is also paired with dog, and reptiles paired with snake. If I'm looking at this, what is the domain? It's the set of things in the first row, but we have to write them without repetition. What's the range? It's the set of things in the second row, have to write without repetition. Okay, those are all relations. So now, which of those three are functions? Well, what is a function? A function is a special relation. Each thing in the domain is paired with only one thing or element in the range. So everything in that first set can only be paired with one thing in the second set. Then you have a function. Okay, so let's go back and look and see which of they're all relations. Let's see which one of those are functions. Is that a function? Well, if I look at this presentation, each thing in the domain is only paired with one thing over here. So yes, but what if it had been given me like this? Well, if it's a function, I'm looking to see the first entry. A is only paired with one thing. So A is not repeated as a first entry, so it's only paired with one thing. So I'm good. B is only paired with one thing. C is only paired with one thing. And if I'm asked, is this a function, yes or no, I'm looking, and A is only paired with one thing. It doesn't appear up here again paired with something else. So this is a function. Okay. What about this? Is that a function? Yes or no? What do you think? Function is a special relation. Each element in the domain is paired with only one element in the range. Is that a function? Yes or no? The answer is yes. Okay, let's check. Joe is only paired with one thing. Joe only got one grade in the course, and it was an A. Jay only got one grade in the course, it was a C. Jill only got one grade in the course, and it was an A. So it doesn't matter that both Joe and Jill are paired with the same thing. It doesn't violate this definition. It says each thing in the domain, each thing, can only be paired with one thing in the range. So Joe is only paired with one letter grade. Jay is only paired with one letter grade, and Jill is only paired with one letter grade. This is a function. Okay, what if I'd been given it in this form? Well, what I'm looking for is I'm looking at the first entries and making sure there's no repetition. Joe is only paired with A, and he's not paired with anything else. J is only paired with C. Jill is only paired with A. So that is a function. And the same thing if I look here. Joe is only paired up with A. He doesn't come over here more than once. So I don't have any repetitions in the first entries or in the first row, so this is a function. And finally, is that going to be a function, yes or no? So a function is a special relation. Each element in the domain is paired with only one element in the range. This is my domain. Mammal is in the domain, and it's paired with more than one thing. So because of this, because there's more than one arrow coming out, it's not a function. Reptile's okay, but you just have to have it violate the definition once. It's not it. What if it was like this? Well, mammal is in the domain. It's paired with cow. But mammal is also paired with something else. It's paired with more than one thing, so mammal is repeated in the first entry. So this is not a function. It's still a relation. It still has a domain and range as far as a relation is concerned, but it's not a function. And similarly, if I look at this, I can see mammal is repeated. So it's not going to be a function because mammal is paired with cow, but mammal's also paired with dog. So it's not a function. All right, and that concludes this video. And now take your quiz.